Thank you for that, Teresa fan, but I know you almost know everything about it. So, welcome to this session of Toastmasters Pathway, where we talk about the basics. And throughout the session, I'll tell about how the old education program was and how it has evolved now to move more towards the pathways and how it is helping all of us. So, first things first, I'll introduce myself. I am a tech lead by profession and I've been a passionate Toastmaster since May 2019. So, this was the time when I joined, I enrolled in Pathways itself. So, I haven't done the old education program myself, but I have few club members in my club who have witnessed the old program, and I take the input from them that how do they compare the old program with the new one. And talking about the pathway or the education program, whatever I have completed so far, I have completed visionary communication pathways. And currently, I have started with the innovative planning. That is my second pathway in the Toastmasters journey. Along with completing our education goals, we also have the XCOM roles. I'm sure most of you would be aware, and most of you are already some XCOM officers in the current of your current term. So I have also taken various roles in my journey so far. I was VP Education in the first term, and then I took up club president, VP membership, and currently I'm back to being VP Education of my club. Other than the Toastmasters side and the professional side, I spend some time doing blogging, and I also love to do poetry. So this is about me. This is about my introduction. And in today's session, I'll talk about, as I mentioned, pathways, and we'll keep it an interactive session so that I would want to know what you want to know more about pathways, and whatever I have with me, I have learned so far, I'll also share that with you. So one thing I'd like to make it clear here that if you have a question, please unmute and ask me upfront. And if I have any question, I would also want you to unmute and answer them so that we do not waste a lot of time in any kind of a warm up. So we know all of each other very well so far. And I'm hoping that you make the best use of this session today. All right. So as I mentioned, the older education program in Toastmasters, there were some manuals. And can any one of you tell me what were the names of those manuals, or what levels would you achieve when you completed certain projects?
I think we have new reinstated Toastmaster. I think Rohan is there. I think
Okay.
he did a lot of CC manual and even DTM Samit also did. So,
Right. Is Samit in the call? I mean, I'm sure he must have seen those earlier. Okay. So, Rohan, do you know, or would you like to talk about the older education program about AC and CC?
I don't see Rohan also.
I guess he's not there in the call.
Okay. Anybody from the guest list today, or any other Toastmaster who knows about the older education program?
I think one of the guests is, from the other Toastmasters club. Would you like to talk about it in case you are aware?
No, actually, I'm also very new.
Oh,
Okay.
I
okay.
joined.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll just speak about it. So the older way, first of all, it was like a manual thing. There was no online tools as such. And I'm sure since we all are from the newer pathway session, we know that how we progress through the resource material, we click next, and there are a lot of questionnaires we have to answer. Sometimes there's a session, there is a feedback which is taken in the beginning and then also towards the end, and then we match the scores, all of that. But before that, it was all how do I say, it was not online, it was offline material, and the way to address those were also a little older, as in the technology or the tools were not that efficient. They were not at par with how the learning has changed across. Also in the technical region, you see there are a lot of online courses, or there are online platforms where you learn, like from example Udemy or Pluralsight, all of that. So to go hand in hand with that, Toastmasters International also thought to change their program in a way that can give you I mean, I can say now, because when we are in this online mode, this has really helped, and we need not to go to our mentor, and we need not to physically go and look for materials, and this has helped. Also the recognition part of it, in pathways we have recognition at the levels. So you do a level completion, you're recognized in your meeting, in your next meeting, by your president or your VP education. in the competent communicator or so there were these bronze, there were these different levels which you used to get, but that was much later when you completed a project or when you completed certain levels versus what we see now in the pathways. Like you do an icebreaker, you get you get a recognition, and then you move on to complete the different levels, you get recognized, and that helps you to motivates you to push forward and complete each of your levels. Yeah, as I mentioned, how is it different from older program? There is a modern subject matter. Most of the pathways, even if you see the names, are also very appealing to you, like visionary communication, effective coaching, dynamic leadership. All of that included with the way the content is delivered to you. For example, I was completing my level 1 innovative planning the other day, and I was seeing that how evaluation and feedback, there were some cases, scenario based examples given to me, that how would I approach a particular topic, or how would I explain a particular matter to someone, what are the different ways of writing a speech. So those are some ways with which we can learn easily, and also I feel the content is relatable. Okay, so before I move on to the next slide, I would like to ask this question from the audience here, that how many pathways do you know or have you seen are available in the Toastmasters International currently?
11.
11. Yeah, that's right. And I mean, I would like to just take one more quick check from all of you. What are you looking for in this path? Okay, before that, how many of you have enrolled for pathways here? All of you? Who hasn't? Let me ask it this way. I'm sure the newer members might not have registered so far, and Toastmaster Rajendra, being the VP, Ed, would have all that data with him.
Yeah, so Mohit he didn't register, but I pushed him to do that because
That's okay. Yeah,
the
that's
director
okay.
was following up.
So I think after today's session, I'm expecting him to enroll for the pathways basis his choice. So yeah, the first thing is when the Toastmasters International moved from this older education program towards pathway, I think it was the district level goal to do the pathways enrollment, 100% pathway enrollment. And every now and then we used to get this message from our AD that, everybody has to enroll for pathways, even the older members. So when they renew their membership, they have to now continue with the pathways way of learning going forward. So yeah, there are 11 pathways, as Toastmaster Rajendra rightly said. And one more question. I mean, when it started, there were 10 pathways. Now the 11th one has been added. So can any one of you tell me which is the latest edition? You have the answer in front of you. You just have to maybe guess, or if you know, you can tell me.
Is it dynamic leadership?
No. That was in the initial program, initial rollout itself.
I am new to looking at the pathways, but just giving a guess, maybe.
I think team collaboration
either,
looks something new.
yeah, team collaboration or engaging humor, maybe.
Who was that? Amrita?
Yeah, this is Amrita.
You are partly right. You said it. It's the engaging humor that was added in the, at a later stage.
Okay.
So yes, now let me, since you see all the pathways here, except for Mohit, all of you, every one of you else can let me know that, what is that one thing that helps you to gauge or, assess yourself that I want to choose this pathway, or how many of you have taken that original assessment form to fill that questionnaire, and that gives you 3 options that these are the 3 pathways you may choose from. So how did you navigate yourself while choosing a pathway?
Yeah, so Gokul here. So yeah, I gone through that test. So there was the
Yes.
different some questions, and
Yes.
through that I just find myself. So yeah, finally I have 3 options, and
Yeah.
one of I choose one of that.
Okay, so that's the right way to go about it. And if you ask me, I had also taken that questionnaire before I started for my first pathway. And after that also I had got, I think, visionary communication, and one was related to leadership. And then between the 2, I chose for myself. Now another question, how many of you just did this Inky Pinky Ponky and chose anyone which came? This random selection. Let's be honest.
Not me.
Okay. Rajendra, you did
No,
a random selection.
no, the tool was asking different option, right? So it was giving me some different option, but then I directly went with presentation mastery, what I like.
Right. Yeah, I have seen. So I've been VP education for my club for 2 terms. So I always uh, ask my new members that how do you want to go about it? You want to fill that questionnaire, or you have something in your mind when you join Toastmasters? I mean, we all have that agenda in our mind that we have to look for the communication part of it or the leadership part of it, and basis that we choose. And also, if you go to the website, which I'll also show you shortly, you have that questionnaire where you can fill, as Toastmaster Gokul said that he had gone through it, and then that helped him to narrow down what are the 3 things or 3 pathways he can choose from, and that's a good help. Other than that, even if you choose a pathway and down the line you feel you are not comfortable with it, you have 1 month of time to go back and change your pathway. Post 1 month, you cannot change it, and you have to go forward and complete that pathway before you start your new one or you purchase the second one. So luckily last year, due to this pandemic thing, we all were awarded one more pathway free of cost. And I think I took use of that and I started my second pathway, innovative planning. So that was given as part of the renewal for September 2020, I feel. So yeah, that is an advantage of sometimes, this pandemic was a blessing in disguise in that way for me. Okay, quick question check. Anybody would want to ask any questions so far? Or you have any, you have recently joined Toastmasters and you feel that you are not able to select a pathway for yourself. Would you want to have some tips for that?
So see, I selected dynamic leadership,
Right.
but yeah, when I gone through, so I see there are the same kind of concept is there, means on the portal, like speech wise, when we prepare the speeches. So when actually it get differentiated and we get the actual benefit of that. So example, if I comparing with the engaging humor and the dynamic leadership.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, even
That's
I have same question.
who Samir, right?
Samir, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and also I'm covering that in my coming slides. I'd say the pathways are designed in all of the pathways are designed in a way that covers certain competencies. Like I mentioned, for me, I look at Toastmasters something where I, get a cocktail of communication, leadership, and networking. That is my mix. And every term or every time I'm looking a certain ratio of all of that. And each pathway is designed in a way that it will cover certain competencies. The ratio will be different, of course, but towards the end or after you fulfill or complete a pathway, you will realize that your initially what were your goals, you have met them, and you see a change in yourself. But let me tell you, the first 2 levels, level 1 and level 2 of each pathway, are more or less the same. So they prepare you to go forward for your level 3, 4, 5. I'm going to shortly talk about it in a more descriptive way. But what will differ dynamic leadership from an engaging humor pathway is a elective project or your final project at level 3, 4, 5, where you will be completely into navigating through your actual pathway. So until you reach your level 3, you are getting prepared to give more of public speeches, to let go of your stage fear, to have that confidence, and then slowly you move towards the goal of your individual path. All right, so I'll move
Yeah.
to the thank you, I'll move to the next slide.
Um,
Yes.
Vidita,
I have
sorry.
one question.
Who's this?
Rushikesh here.
Yes, Rishikesh, please.
I want to know, there are many electives in our levels. So is it necessary that we should complete like the minimum requirement electives, or we should move to further levels? Or and suppose you have completed your visionary communication pathway. So
Right.
is it possible for you to now go to once to your electives as that pathway is completed?
I would want to ask you, why would you want to go back? I mean, you have already, so you get a list of electives on level 3, level 4, and also level 5. So there are always more options for you. Like, I have to choose from a list of 5, let's say, and I would choose something which is, I think I can do, or something I can be challenged about. I will choose that, do it, and then move forward. So you want to say that you want to come back and try out the other projects
Uh,
out of the list?
yes.
Yeah, so I think there is no harm because see, I'm at level 4. Okay.
Right.
In level 3, you got, I think, 13 electives. So minimum 2 are required to complete.
Minimum 2, yes.
But
Yes.
still, I feel like, so still I go back and try to complete all my, if there's no speaker, right? So I will just go and prepare for that project and I will deliver. So it's up to you, Miss. What Toastmaster Manu Nair told me, like always you can, all those projects are good. So it will help you in some or other way. So it's always better. But
Absolutely.
yeah, to
Yes.
complete the level 2 are required, but you can go and same thing in level 4 also.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is applicable for all the elective projects from your level 3 onwards. And Rishikesh, the thing is, you can do them as and when you have completed a pathways, you are advised to do that, to try out and explore different options. Only thing is, you will not be credited for it on the education program or the base camp because you have already completed your minimum required thing. So you would not be, you cannot add it or ask for later level completion for that, any sort of
Got it.
recognition you cannot get out of that, but you can definitely try it out. And if required, or I would suggest that if you really want to push yourself more, you can take another pathway.
Yes.
I think you have to purchase it now, or sometimes if there is a scheme during renewals, if you're lucky, you will get it free of cost. But I'll
Yes.
come to that why you should complete second pathway and the benefits of it. That's towards the end of my session. So I'll move forward now. If there are no more questions, I heard one more female voice asking question before.
Hi, Vidita Vaibhavi here.
Yes, Vaibhavi, please.
So I would like to know if I chose a path dynamic leadership for level 1. So is
Right.
it mandatory to go ahead with the same path for level 2?
Okay. See, the pathway has 5 levels. So once you choose a pathway and within 1 month, if you are not changing it, you have to continue it for all your 5 levels. So every pathway will have 5 levels to assess all your competencies or to, give you the benefits of all the levels. You have to complete with one pathway. And I think it's been more than 1 month for you joining Toastmasters now. So if you have dynamic leadership, you have to continue that till your level 5.
Okay, fine, Vidita. Yeah. Thank you.
Vandana, you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to know when we get the evaluation from evaluator,
Right.
that form we have to upload or we have to upload the things ourselves?
Okay, that's a good question. And I think the newer UI I'm seeing in Toastmasters now asks you to upload the form. So yes and no. Your answer is yes and no. See, the evaluation form is for you to look into the points, improve on it, and then give your next speeches basis that. So whenever I get evaluated, so I always ask my evaluator to please fill it up and send it back to me so that I can keep a record of it. And sometimes some of your projects would require you to give that evaluation form to your next speech evaluator also. So that is for your record. It's not necessarily important to upload it so that that will be approved or something. But nowadays I'm seeing in the newer UI, one of my newly joined member is facing this thing that she has to upload that evaluation form. That option is available. And after that only I think she can get that check mark for the level 1 completion. This is something I've recently seen, but I am not 100% sure that you have to upload it or not.
Thank you. Actually, I have seen without uploading the form, it was the tick mark was there. I got the tick mark without
May I know
uploading.
when have you joined the Toastmasters?
Yeah, in the month of September.
Last year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
I think that is only for your record. So I think each level, if you go to the e-portfolio, so for different levels, they are allowing, I think, 4 documents and there's some size limit. So
yes.
You can upload your evaluation or some certificate, whatever you got. So just for your record, so it's better. So for each level, you can keep those documents.
Yeah, I'm sure your VP ed of your club always knows that you're giving a speech, so they don't need additional records for approving. But if they need, you can definitely upload it. But there is no hard and fast rule.
Thank you, Vidita.
Welcome. I will move to the next point now. So,
So Vidita, one more thing, so this new pathway was introduced in 2010, what I understand, right?
sorry, the engaging humor,
No, this all pathway, this all earlier we had CC thing, right?
right?
Competency manual, and in 2010 this was introduced. So what happened to the Toastmasters who were already? So they had to complete it, and then again they had to
So
go.
I think 2010 is not the year; it is much later, 2015 or 16. But I'm not too sure on the numbers. And regarding the question of transition from the old manuals or the old education program to pathways, they were given ample time to complete their programs. Also, I think till date, they are credited for that if they have completed certain AC or CC levels, competent communicator, because for contests, you have to complete level 2 of any pathways, right? That is a eligibility criteria. But for people who are from the old manuals, old education program still hold that thing. I mean, I can tell from my club, there are members who haven't started the pathways, but they have completed their advanced communicator and still they can, contest in their contests, in all the contests. So that kind of flexibility is still there. But yeah, having said that, I would also another highlight again that 100% pathway enrollment is one of the goals for the district. That has always been there. And as a VP education, we have to make sure that all of our members enroll in the pathways. Okay, I will move forward. So base camp, have you all heard of this word? Because I understand that most of us have enrolled in pathways in this group of people today. So anybody would like to tell you what is base camp? Because you might have logged in and seen that already. Anybody, quickly, 1-2 sentences also fine.
Yeah, here actually we will get the information about our speeches,
Right,
projects.
correct. So it's like a tracker basically, the base camp when you log in, it's a tracker where you see what level of pathways you are on and what project on that particular level and all your resources. Basically, why a base camp? Because you get everything in one stop. Your project PDFs for the evaluations you can download from there. You can download the project checklist from there. Sometimes there are good resource material for elective. You want to know how I want to approach this particular elective. For example, there is an elective at level 3, deliver social speeches. So first of all, if you're new to giving speeches, you would like to understand what is a social speech in itself. So there are ample materials available, and case studies are also there. Sometimes you see when you attempt or you navigate through the resource, you will see there are different questionnaires. Sometimes there are different case studies. You try to understand, you go through the video, try to understand, and then you will be assessed, or you will be assessed based on the questions asked after the video. All of that, and a tracker which will then help you to mark the levels of projects completed. Once you click on mark as complete, your request will go to the VP education so that he can approve your levels. I'm going to show this on my personal Toastmasters site also, so that you can have a look and feel of it. So yeah, two things. You can log in as Basecamp, and if you are XCOM officer, especially if you are a VP education or a president, you will also see the Basecamp manager thing on your profile, so that you can approve the request of your members. So these are the two basics of the Basecamp. And this is the screen basically you get when you log in to your Toastmasters profile, and under the pathways section, there's a pathways tab separately added where you can see the navigator, choose your path, and then the pathways where it will take you to your particular pathway. And there you would continuously see the updates. So I would say that it's a good practice that whenever you give a speech, you try to mark it on your pathways and download your resources from here. As Vandana or somebody else also mentioned, you can also upload your evaluation forms there, so that it's a good way to track your progress. So anybody who, I'd like to ask at this point, anybody who has enrolled for Pathways but haven't started marking their projects on their website, or are facing difficulty to mark their projects, maybe let's take it that way, or they don't understand the UI or feel it's too clumsy. Anyone? Okay, so I think then you all are in good hands of Toastmaster Rajendra, who has given ample information on how to do it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I think I showed in one of the session, but still, if anyone has a problem.
Yeah,
But,
I mean,
but
of course,
first
I
thing,
am going
let
to
me
go through that towards the end.
let me share my experience. I was first time when I visited, I was confused because nobody showed me, and
Right.
I was
First time, yeah, for first time it is a
give
little
a icebreaker, and only 5 minutes were remaining, and the evaluator was asking me the evaluation sheet. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, I
Even
can understand. So somebody who has joined very recently in the last 3 to 4 months would find it a little difficult, but as in when you get accustomed to it, you will find it a little easier.
even I
I
had the
have one.
same experience as
Sameer.
Toastmaster Rajendra. Yeah,
Mhm.
I joined in December last week. So as of now, I have just completed my icebreaker,
Correct.
and I have completed. I have marked that project one icebreaker project in the level 1 as complete.
Sure. Yes. So, I mean, this is something you can do always put some time aside from your schedule every week or every month, maybe, that, go back and mark your projects complete. Talk to Toastmaster Rajan that I have marked my project complete, so that he can approve. How it will help is, the moment he marks it, he will submit an education award for you. So there is something called as education award at each level completion. That will help you in
Okay.
2 ways. You will get your education award, and the club will get the education points on the DCP portal. So that is how you should always, be go hand in hand with the VP education. It makes their life also easy, so that he hasn't, he doesn't have to run behind you to mark it complete on the website.
and one more thing, like last year, there were some of the Toastmaster, right? They didn't even activate any of the projects, and they were
Right.
coming. They were coming and delivering speech, which was irrelevant to your projects, like nothing to do with your
Speech
past.
objectives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then,
Yes.
anyway, I was not a VP or anything, but still, we had a word with him.
Right. I mean, that's it. That is the importance of such education sessions, where we explain what is Pathways and how to go about it, because I have seen some members doing that in my club as well, because they don't have that sense of direction, where to go, how to proceed. And sometimes people are shy to ask questions also. So that's why we are here. Okay. So
Yeah.
now, yeah, any question?
Sorry for disturb. So one more question I have here. So when we create any, means when we prepare for any speech, so that time we need to create a project. So that project is specific to that particular speech, or we can include the number of speech in that particular project.
See, question is very good and relevant. The thing is, in Toastmasters, you are being guided by the pathway and the objective of speech at each level. So you need not to add your own speech. You can be creative in the content of your speech or how you want to deliver it, but the objectives for each level has to be what is written in your pathways. And that is why it's a good practice that once you complete a speech, go back to the website, mark it complete, read the objective for the second one, download the evaluation sheet for evaluator, go through the resource material. So resource material will give you ample information. If I have to talk about myself, I think level 3 onwards, I slowed down because I wanted to really understand what is a speech objective, what does it, what is it asking from me, and then I used to, take, sometimes I used to take 2 months, 3 months to give one speech, because I really wanted to do justice with these speech objectives. So you have to stick to the speech objectives, but the way to deliver it and the content you want to bring, that is something up to you. I hope I answered your question.
But what about the project? So when we complete one speech,
Right.
so it will complete the one project.
Not necessarily one speech is one project. Sometimes there are two speeches also in one project. For example, level 1 project 2 consists of 2 speech, evaluation and feedback, that is the title. You have to give one speech, then you take the feedback, incorporate the feedback and give second speech. So that is not always true that one speech is equal to one project. Sometimes two speech. Sometimes you have to give a group discussion and no speech. So that is also one project going forward in level 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And it depends on, so always go back, read your speech objectives or project objectives, if I have to say, and then act accordingly.
So yeah, so you mean it is automatically get covered in the portal itself, so we don't need to do anything specific.
You're talking about marking the project complete. You have to mark it complete.
Right, but still I have some confusion about that project. So suppose I am going to create one project, right? So
you have to Gokul, what I'll do is I will go through my slides, and towards the end I will show my profile, the projects, and maybe then you can come up with a query and we can see real time that what you are trying to address. We'll address it together. Okay,
Vidita, I have a question here.
yes, who's this?
Rishikesh here once
Yes,
again.
Rishikesh, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so you said that members level completion request will come back to you as a VP education.
Right.
So right now, suppose you have completed one level, so you have to
Absolutely.
approve your level as well, or it will go to president or someone else. Then
So
he
when
will
you are
approve.
saying you means as a member.
Yes, means
Okay.
you as a VP education completed one level,
Right.
and in Basecamp you will see your request. So you need to approve it, or your president is going to approve it.
Yeah, president or secretary.
Right.
Not
So,
by you. Okay.
So ideally, if I have to real time scenario, I can also see that request. Since I am VP education in member progress, sorry, not member progress, pending request tab, I can see my own request. But ideally, I should not approve it. Someone else should. There should be another pair of eyes approving it. So what we do is we give it to the president. So if I'm the VP education, I cannot approve my own projects. I will give it to the president and also to the secretary. That's fine. But I can see it. So that thing is there. I can see the request, but I don't approve it for myself. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
It will be like a conflict of interest, right?
Yes. And immediately after the request is approved, I also suggest or recommend the VP education to file the education awards, because then you don't have to keep it in your mind and wait till the term end. Do it then and there. File the education award. You will get an email. The person who is receiving the award will get an email. And if you want to include your managers, technical managers, or you want to show your progress or education level progress in Toastmasters, you can also include the mail of your manager so that he or she also receives it.
So Vidita, file means apart from approving, there's a separate.
Yes, education award. So since you're VP education, you will see leadership central in your profile. Go there, go to Club Central. There is an option called as file education award.
Okay.
So once you file the education award, these are the two ways to complete a level from your side, recognize it, and I think then only you get the DCP point added, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
First of all, the request, pending request will come to VP education.
Right.
VP education completes that request, and then same VP education has to complete that request, submit that award in Club
Education
Central
award,
as well. Then only your educational award will reflect on the TI side.
It will be reflected as a DCP point. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So I move forward now. Now let's talk about a little bit more about the project and levels. So probably this, if Gokul helps you to answer the question, you can let me know. I think Webby asked that, I have level 1, I'm on dynamic leadership. Can I continue with another pathways or not? So let me tell you that there are 5 levels in any project, in any pathway, and every level has different number of projects. Okay. Level 1 has 3 projects, for example. So the program has been designed, this education program called as Pathways is designed in such a way that level 1 and level 2 will cover the fundamental part of your learning and will, in my own words, if I have to say, it will prepare you to attempt your elective projects and move forward in your Toastmasters journey. Because I remember after completing level 2, I was feeling that sense of confidence that now I can write a speech anytime, anywhere. So that 5 to 7 minutes, that is at times, most of the speeches are for 5 to 7 minutes. So now I know that, okay, for me personally, I need 700 to 800 words for a 5 to 7 minute speech, so that I don't have to rehearse for time. I already know that I can complete this much content in 5 to 7 minutes. So level 1 has a first speech icebreaker that is common for all the Toastmasters who join newly. That is a speech for 4 to 6 minutes. After that, all the speeches are mostly for 5 to 7 minutes. At times when objective is too huge, like a level 5 speech is, I think, for 10 to 12 minutes. So these are different timing sequences. That's why every time we ask the timer that, what is the time sequence for this speech? Because every project at every level has a different timing sequence, different objectives. And as you progress, I would not say the difficulty level, but the challenge of each project changes from level 3, 4, 5 onwards. So this is pretty much for all the pathways. I'm sure the pathways of leadership and all the planning would have some different electives. Then for me, visionary communication, the electives were different. For me, it was more of talking to a whole group of people, trying to identify with them. So I had a group discussion on my level 4, one of the project. Then one of my project on level 5 was to develop a vision for myself or for my club, and then to implement it. And I think I took around 8 months of time to complete that project, because I wanted to develop a vision for myself and then see if I can progress. And as I mentioned, each of the level is awarded separately. We already discussed about the level completion and award filing. So any questions here on the levels? Okay, how many of you have completed level 1 here? Let me ask. You can show me a raise of hands. Level 1 is already done. Okay, how many of you, okay, Shantalas, how many of you have done or completed your icebreaker? Let's see that. How many of you? Okay, good. So there are more people who have recently started and they have given icebreaker. Great. So yeah, once you give this level 1, there is another sense of confidence which comes after. I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4 speeches in level 1, and after writing 4 speeches, delivering 4 speeches, you feel that you get that confidence and you feel like moving forward and taking up your level 2. So that's something I think Shantala has recently completed her level 1 and level 2. So I can see that sense of achievement, accomplishment kind of feeling that is coming. Okay, anyone of you who is on level 3? I know about Rajendra. Okay, I see Aditya's hand.
Shweta also is in level 3.
Shweta is also in level 3. Great.
Yeah, she's completed level 2.
Yeah, she completed level 2. Yes. So I mean, I would say this is a point where you would want to take a pit stop, relax and slow down. But at the same time, I would encourage you to move, keep taking those baby steps and complete a level 3, because level 4 is then another set of challenge coming to you. Yes. Anybody on level 5? Let's see that. No? I think we are a bunch of very young Toastmasters in terms of when we have joined here. Okay, level 5 is completely different ball game, because then you have to complete one very big project specific to level 5, and then towards the end you have to summarize your whole journey. So that is a big speech, I think 10 to 12 minutes, where you have to summarize your whole pathways experience and deliver a speech. So yeah, all the best to all of you who are progressing from level 3 onwards. It's a very I mean, I wish you all the luck for completing your level 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now let's move to something called as DTM. I mean, all of you might have heard what is DTM. And somewhere when you hear, I mean, today we don't have DTM Summit with us, but of course, when we see a person or when we address somebody as DTM, it comes in our mind and hearts that, okay, I would also want to earn that title someday. And there would be so many questions in your mind. How do I go about it? What do I have to do? And that's why I thought to add this slide here. I'll quickly talk about it. We are very young right now in our journey in terms of how we are progressing, but we have to keep an end goal in mind so that there is something to look forward to and to keep us motivated and keep, be there each term to achieve that DTM title. So first things first, from the education point of view, you have to complete 2 pathways to earn your DTM title. And for somebody like me, I've just started the second pathway. So if I have to envision a DTM for myself, I think it would take another year and a half for me if I have to go and think about getting that or attracting that title towards me. So that is for the education program side of it. Other than that, you also have to serve as a XCOM officer. So anybody who has taken XCOM role in the last term and also in this term, then one of your criteria is already fulfilled. You have to take 2 terms of XCOM, 6 months each. Toastmaster Rajendra, is your club registered as a annual club or a 6-month, half yearly? What is the term for which you're renewed? I know some clubs are renewed for annual.
Renewing the membership fee, you mean to say?
Yeah. So you renew every 6 months or every year?
No, we do it every 6 months, but it's up to member. Okay.
Right.
If he wants to pay for whole year and also
that is something different. I'm asking what is the club renewal cycle? So you have that particular tab on your, you will see that if you know about it, there is a particular tab you have to select on your leadership central. What is the renewal cycle of your club? You can make it yearly also. Some clubs have it yearly. So then in that case, you select your XCOM officers for that particular term. Now, I think if you guys are, or if some of you have already been a club officer for 2 terms, you are one of the criteria for DTM is already done. So, the point number 2 is done.
Yeah.
Moving forward, you have to complete a district officer role. That could be area director, division director, district director, all of that for 1 year. So that's a 1-year program. You have to complete and serve as that. There could be other district officer roles as well, but let's not go there. You have to complete that. Other than that, you have to complete or you have to serve as a club mentor or a club coach. So currently I'm in the capacity of club coach for Wipro Rendezvous Club. So that will also add as a project for my DTM journey. Then there is something called as being a club sponsor or conducting a speechcraft or youth leadership program. This is a more detailed or a more, you have to put a lot of efforts or time into it. You have to sponsor a club means you have to look for a potential where you can create a club. It could be corporate, it could be community, but you have to go about it and you have to be a member of that club as well. I think not necessary to be a member, but you have to be with the club until they can move on their own. So that is another way, or there's another, a checklist in the DTM to complete the DTM project. Now comes the 6th point, which is to complete a DTM project, which is equivalent to a HPL project, that is high performance leadership, meaning you can conduct joint area contest or a contest or a program at a huge scale. You have to be the convener or co-convener of such a program where you manage things, getting the role players, getting the awards, and looking at the logistics. So those kind of skills and expertise you have to demonstrate to accomplish your DTM project. One good thing here is that it is up to you how you want to complete a project or what creatively you want to do different. But of course, you have to talk to your AD and also your DD and tell them that, I am going to file for my DTM project. These are my project details. So they will, approve it sort of so that you can go forward. So yeah, this is the highest education. This is the highest level in any education program in Toastmasters called as DTM. And somebody who's already a DTM, I think they can also renew it later. But these are the criteria. So we are a young club. That's why I thought to just, give you a glimpse of DTM and how does it feel and what are the things we need to do to be a DTM.
It's like a black belt. So it sounds like.
Sorry?
It sounds like getting a black belt. Like if you're
yes, absolutely, yes. And I'm sure it's a long way to go, and I think it's going to be very fruitful once you start giving your speeches, complete one pathway. That kind of feeling is different. Yeah.
Can you elaborate on speechcraft? So right now, your whatever education session you're giving, this is not a speechcraft.
No, speechcraft has separate objectives, and once you go to the Toastmasters website, you have specific agenda written for speechcraft and also for youth leadership program. What I am delivering right now is going to be considered only as education session. Yeah. Okay, so let me just now go and show a small demo with what I have with me. So this is my login, and I wanted to show the Basecamp. Once I go here, I go to Basecamp. And maybe Gokul, we'll see your question as well, what you have with respect to projects. So now when I'm here, and since I'm the VP Education this term, I see the Basecamp manager also. Last term, I was not able to see this tab. So I'll go to Basecamp. And here are my transcripts, basically. I can see which pathways I'm enrolled into. Currently, I think it will show me innovative planning. I'll go to open curriculum. I have given my level 1 icebreaker speech evaluation feedback. First speech is done, and I have to give my evaluation feedback second speech and my research presenting speech. So I have completed the online document reading, and also I have downloaded my FAQs. So I completed this here. Now, once you complete a speech, first, once you enroll for that, there is an activate button which will come. Once you activate, the status which you see here says in progress. Okay. Once you complete the resource, you go to the resource till the end, you give that feedback which was asked in the starting to you, you complete it will be marked as completed here. The status is completed, and then there is a small feedback form which comes, and the button or the title of the button at that time is evaluate. So that feedback form, 4 to 5 questions are there. After that, you see completed. Likewise, you complete the 3 projects.
Vidita,
Yes.
do you mind repeating how the status appears to be completed? Mine is in progress now. What should I have to do to get it completed?
Sure. Maybe I can give you a live demo. I'll go to my level 2.
Okay.
That was Amrita, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, I'll just show you. See, Amrita, now I haven't started my level 2 here on the portal, and the status is registered. Or let's say even before that, I have just clicked on activate, so registered is coming here. If I have not done anything at all, like for a newbie, the status will be activate, and here it will show not activated. Once I click on activate, it will appear like this launch, and status will turn to registered.
Okay.
Now, once I launch it and start reading or going through my material, resource material, status will change to in progress.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm sure once you open it, you will get a questionnaire or a feed. There's a questionnaire which asks you to evaluate yourself on certain objectives. So there is 1 to 5 button, right? You submit it, then you go through the material, and towards the end, again, that questionnaire will pop up, and it will ask you to assess now, after reading the material, do you feel the confidence to go about your public speaking, go about your leadership, whatever are the objectives, respectively. You mark it, you click on submit.
Okay.
Once you submit, of course, that page opens in another tab. Okay. Once you click on submit, this page will auto refresh, and status will be marked as completed here. From in progress to completed. Okay. Yeah. Now, once it is completed, your one project is completed, you will get the button title here will change to evaluate.
Okay.
Then once you click evaluate, you will get a form, 4 to 5 questions asking about the feedback of the material content, the pace of the program, some generic questions all the time. You finish it off. Okay. Then again, the title of the button will change to launch. Status is marked as completed. Likewise, you go about for your 3 projects or whatever number of projects you have in your each level. Okay. Once all of that is done, right? Here a button will appear like what you see for my right now for my level 2, you won't see because I haven't completed. Here a button will appear where it will ask you to launch again. Status would be again not registered. Once you launch it, it will open a PDF in another tab, and at the same time, once you come here, the title of the button will change to mark as complete.
Okay.
Once you mark it as complete, okay, that is the time you as a member are done with your marking or submitting of your request to a VP head. Now in the capacity of VP head, if I have to go, I will see it on my base camp managers. And under the pending request from members, I would be seeing that request of you saying Amrita has completed so and so level at so and so time. There's a tick and there's a cross. So then it's up to my discretion if I feel you have really completed, or if you are getting some feedback that you have to repeat a speech or from evaluator. Likewise, I'll discuss with you and I will mark your project complete.
Yeah, it's clear now, Vidita.
Yes. So at this point, any one of you have any questions with respect to project or anything, or Gokul, you had something in your mind you would like to clarify?
No, so it's clear, but yeah, you completed that 4 levels there. Yeah, 4 speeches for that particular level. So how many projects it got completed?
Every level will have number of different projects. For example, level 1 has 3, level 2 has 3. Sometimes I think level 5 has only 2 projects. So level 3 onwards, I think there are 2 projects only. So different levels, different projects, different pathways, different objectives. It is completely your own dashboard. You have to log in, you have to check your objectives and go about it.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Welcome. Now, as a base camp manager, I'm showing this for the sake of the VP education or the future, in if anybody would want to take that role. So you see this, you see a member progress. That's the way to go about the charts. I think in one of the meetings, Toastmaster Rajendra showed the charts of all of us, right? And here is the pending request, where if I go and somebody tells me, somebody pings me that they have completed their level. So I just quickly go here and check whether the request is coming here. I will mark it. And after that, I will also, file the education award. Probably that's also a good thing to show right now. So level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the projects, and this path completion you see here, right? This is a 10 to 12-minute speech that every one of you have to give to explain, or to the objectives of this project is where you talk about your path journey, whatever you have learned in that journey. So you have to summarize it in 10 to 12 minutes of speech time. Leadership Central, Club Central, Submit Education Awards. So Rajendra, if you see, this is where we have to go. Submit Education Awards, select the member name.
Yeah, I just did for Anamika, Shantala, but I don't see myself, so I requested them.
You won't see yourself. You have to get it done from your president or your secretary. You won't be able to see for yourself.
Could you show that where is that 6 monthly or annually?
I'll show you later after this, because I think we are exceeding the time. I'll show you that separately. Yeah. So now that was a demo. I hope things are clear for you now with respect to how you have to mark your pathways and everything. And anytime if you feel, you can ask me, you can ask Toastmaster Rajendra. We are there to help you. So this was my
one more question. In that level 1 earlier, there was one more course, navigation. Something was showing up, not completed. I don't know if that was relevant or not, but it's like how you maneuver the pathway. I believe it was.
Where do you see? What do you see?
In level 1, at the bottom one level was that it was about navigation something. Right now it is not showing up, but it was there earlier.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just went through next, and I just marked it as complete. So I don't know.
Okay. First time, if you open, that is a navigator that tells you how you have to navigate through your pathway. So that is only one-time thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It helps you to navigate through these pathways, because it's for somebody who's recently joined, doesn't know how to go about it, where to click submit and all of that. So that comes up. Yeah. I think for me, it didn't come up this time when I started my second pathway, but I remember it being there for the first time. Okay. So now, we have seen a demo, and I would like to quote my references. I have used the Toastmasters site, and in the education program, the FAQ section is there, which will, cover almost all of your query. I'm seeing that, it's really helpful for me. Sometimes if I'm stuck to know what do I have to do, or for a DTM, for any speechcraft, even for speechcraft, there's a good material available, youth leadership program, all of that is there. You can definitely go and check that out. And even for a smaller question like, how do I go about for my high performance leadership project at level 5, and also how to mark a level complete, everything is there. There is also this online help of there's online help, but there is a certain time limit. It's only available on weekdays, not on weekends. So you can always write to them, you can always chat with them. So if you have to write to them, the email ID is educationprogram@toastmasters.org. I will maybe try to share with you that once I, during this course of meeting, I will share in the chat the email address which on which you can send an email to them to answer your queries. So yeah, this brings me to the end of this session. I would now like to share with you a quick feedback form to take your feedback, and also if you have any questions, you can paste me in the chat or ask me right now. Yeah, it is open for all of you. And let me know if you're able to see my feedback form link. Please go there, feedback for this session, so that will help me in the future. Are you able to see my screen again?
No.
Give me 10 seconds. I have to plug in my charger. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen for the feedback form. Let's see what is the feedback from everyone. Okay, I see 7 of you giving the feedback. How many of us are here today? 9. Okay. So yeah, I think this is it from my side. Thank you for your valuable feedback. If anything else you would want to ask about pathways, or how do you want to go about completing your levels, education program in general, or your DTM journey, if you want to start doing that, baby steps, of course. So feel free to ask me. And now, yeah, I would hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vijay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Vidita. This was a wonderful session and very insightful to the fellow Toastmaster. It will definitely going to help us. Before I move to the next session,